You know, there really is a lot of untapped potential just sitting around, specifically on the internet, in terms of artists, writers, developers, so on and so forth, as we get Azul, Exquisite Taste. And we're going to move on to another custom character. But that's not going to be what I'm totally talking about. If there's anything else to say, it's that, man. So if you didn't already see the post, one of my setups exploded, and I was deciding whether or not I wanted to keep using it, but I decided to because I figure, why wouldn't I? Also, Exquisite Taste. So that's just the short of it. I shouldn't really need to say more because, well, there's not much more to say about it. But as we play a stack of tofu and get into Azul Exquisite Taste custom character, with 3 strength, 6 dexterity, 4 perception, 4 knowledge, 5 charisma. Yeah, there's a lot of untapped potential just sitting around on the internet, just waiting to be used. But granted, money is a concern for some companies and whatnot, but compared to the quality of whatever it's being put out, as we have knowledge, strength, light, second encounter, Toxizon, and maybe a charisma check. And as for me, I'm just kind of sitting around, ruminating over what the best course of action is. But as we take a legal den here, we're going to leave the schoolyard. Normally, I would enable the I'm losing my words because I saw the library notes. Yeah, usually I would enable History Club instead of Schoolyard, but I figure if we can go in for 2 Doom and grab some allies, sure. If nothing else, so another way to think about it before well, actually, let's go over the mysteries first. I'm not going to forget what I was going to say, hopefully. Arms, Festival, Botanist, Phantasms, and Television. You can think of the Schoolyard, if nothing else, as a 2 Doom, 15 experience, 3 ally recruit, or 3 damage, if that makes any sense. And I'll explain. I might as well explain the calculations now as we just autopilot this. Oh, now we have to forget abolish at some point, but I'm probably gonna forget because I'm gonna talk about stuff. School max threat level, village max threat level. We have television and something, but I know television. We're going to the village a few times, but we'll see. Botanists were also going to the village, but you get the point. What was it? Oh, so yeah, when you visit the schoolyard, it costs 2 Doom. If you're not lucky or your charisma is low, you can spend 15 experience to get 3 allies guaranteed, because 3 allies is the max for those who don't know. Nice 12 roll, by the way, game. Oh, that's right, I didn't prepare. I needed tree for a weapon. And then there is another thing I'm thinking about. So through those 3 students, aside from stat increases, but we'll even assume the worst, that you lose 3 stats, which is quite bad, but to me, stats don't mean as much in World of Horror unless you're in battle. Well, here's Yoichi, by the way. Do I want to do this? I'm going to do this. I'm going to double my funds. But, yeah, you can only get a max of 3, or you can only, when you're recruiting students, the game checks to see if you have 3 allies. If you have 3 or more allies, you cannot recruit any more students. So that's why 15 experience for 3 students, because you do a scary story for each of them. That's 5 experience. Times 3 is 15. And then let's assume you send those students each at a thingamajiggy, at an enemy. The minimum amount of damage they can do is 1. So you get 3 damage. Now, for 2 Doom and 15 experience, that might not be the best. But if you absolutely need to not die, I really want the army knife, by the way. Now I'm just curious to see if I get it. Okay. We do have 2 pocket knives, so I'm kind of calculating the Doom decrease, which is going to be, well, it doesn't say, but it's 8 Doom overall. But, yeah, what I'm trying to say, oh yeah, there we're going to pocket knife this. Yeah, so you get 3 students, and each of them does anywhere from 1 to 6 Doom when you send them at an enemy. So at most you can get 18 damage, but that's not going to happen. So you're probably going to get 6 damage, I say 3. So it's not the best trade-off, but if you need to avoid dying, then yeah, you might as well send the students. And more than a few times you realize you're in a situation where an extra point of damage could have saved you. Also, this tooth is our second encounter, because I don't even remember my second encounters. I could also optionally do Prep Strong, because if I'm going to get out in 2 turns, I might as well just do Prep Strong. Also, I have a curse that's lowering my thingamajiggy, my reason, so I can't forget Abolish if I wanted to. I need to, otherwise I take Doom here, so we'll try to do that. That's the only other thing I'm worried about in Azul. While I have 2 pocket knives, Azul can just absolutely slap me in the face with Primarily the experience rule, but at this point the fun rule as well, which I should have actually taken. Should have actually taken something. I was going to say something, but I'm looking at this 2-all encounter. We get out in 2 turns, and you might ask at this point, well, Jordan, weren't you just in an encounter with 2-all? The difference here is that I only need to get hit once, whereas the other one I think had 20 HP. So it's not it's not a guaranteed 2-turn. That's what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. But anywho, as we move on. So the thing I was talking about before the timestamp, and, you know, just a little bit now, but we'll go into it because there's nothing else happening on the screen right now, is that there is a lot of untapped potential. We know a lot of untapped potential on the internet. Oh, well, thankfully we're not taking as much damage, so I can't afford to hope for a 3-turn because we take 2-all. But yeah, there's a lot of untapped potential on the internet, and if anyone doubts that, just look at one of the recent games to come out. Actually, well, I think it's like a branch of a large studio. And hold on, you know what? Let's get rid of holes. Which was made up of, you know, the common thing is the common number is around 30 people, but basically a smaller development team filled with people, and then a few key individuals. We'll say key in this case, where they were picked up from the internet, essentially. Again, I don't know how true. I mean, I'm willing to believe them, but I always leave some doubt. So, and I'm sure the individuals in question, I say that, yeah, plural individuals, because, you know, there's an individual working on this or that or this. I'm sure they have background and experience, but that doesn't change the fact that they're sitting around on the internet, not being used for, in this case, games, but in other things as well. Like, they deserve more attention. It's just that, well, algorithms exist on the internet, so what's popular will usually be pushed up. I mean, it's not for any. I mean, it could be for a weird reason, but what I'm trying to say is that, as I pay attention to my injuries here, what I'm trying to say is, oh, that's right, we don't have the thingamajiggy either, the vending machines. There's a lot of untapped potential on the internet, and we need, you know, the algorithms that might push others, but for good reason, because a majority of the time a diamond in the rough is still in the rough, so there's a lot of rough stuff. That being said, I think there's a lot more diamonds than one would expect. If you're happy with rubies and emeralds as well, I mean, sure, right? But anywho, so 3 turns for 2 stamina, I'll take that in the face. So the thing about, just to cut back into the game for really quickly, so the thing about Masochistic is that if you are a character who's good at encounters, whether you have fast action speeds or high damage, you usually can make use of Masochistic, because while you take max reason damage, and that's normally a very indirect way of getting hurt more by events, the reason healing means that if you 1 or 2 turn enemies, you're usually losing less resources, or gaining reason. I almost said resolve. And now I think about it, I guess that's because I'm playing the other game. But we get stench stricken, so oof my doom, but I should take survival instinct, even though my reason may not go that low. But we're gonna double up on our thingamajiggy and just take 2-all damage. So yeah, keeping in mind Phantasms, again, Phantasms is one of the mysteries I will be having throughout this series, so it would behoove me, as I roll an 11 on luck, to learn it. At this point, we might as well just... Oh, that's right, we didn't take the monument. Well, we live and die by the legal den. Alternatively here, you could enable the occult shop, but this character doesn't really have a lot of knowledge to make use of, unless we use the small candle, but that's another worry entirely. If we hit this... Well, we have to hit it twice, so pretty much 50-50. It's like 64%, but we have to hit 2 non-guaranteed attacks, which we thankfully did. And we continue taking Doom in the face. 64% Doom moving into our... Well, actually more than that, but 60% Doom moving into our 3rd mystery is still a bit more than I'd hope. I almost thought that said 8% Doom, but thankfully it wasn't. So, as we move on here... Festival, Arms, and then Television. Or, well, it was close to Labyrinth. Labyrinth would have been terrible for this run, on top of Azal already. We don't have any allies, so the plan to visit... So basically, Schoolyard is a dead location in this run, but... Nah. I don't know which... Yeah, I don't remember those. That's 2 all damage in the face, really, as the game slows down. I don't think it's OBS. I think it's just the game slowing down, but... We'll do our best to trudge through this run. We can definitely still survive. It's just... We're probably hovering around the 50%, 50-50 range if one were to set up the odds of surviving in this run. We also still have a pocket knife, so in a way we do have Doom to work with still. I shouldn't have done that. I was trying to actually roll, but I forgot that the middle option there is damage in the face. I think there are things to roll on while talking to Kimiko there, but I really should just explore that. Again, television is also a mystery we'll be having throughout this series, and probably just throughout the span of me playing custom content on World of Horror. Yeah, not much else to say. So in the meanwhile, we will just take 3 stamina damage to the face. We can kind of afford to. We can afford to. As long as the game allows. We get handcuffs too, so in a way we can save more. The pocket knife just decreases Doom, while the handcuffs can usually result in a one-shot. We might as well use these funds for experience, by the way. So we'll just say this, because I don't remember if this actually affects me. And I don't think I'll need all of these funds, so we'll just continue onward and level up. Now, we didn't get any character-specific perks. Probably would have been nice, but we'll just move on instead. Could have considered healing there, and I could have used these funds for this as well, but yeah, charisma is not high, so it's not the most harmful encounter. It's just would have been great to get out. I think you get more experience if you succeed that charisma check, question mark? But anywho, I really need to look into Ito. I just need to basically just go through the Ito files, or you can just play the mystery more, but the Ito files gives me just as much information with my understanding of World of Horror. I hope it does. But yeah, anywho. We have 8 dexterity. We're going to try to cut Kimiko free. That's one of the things I remember here. And yeah, let's find out what happens. So, of course, we rolled an 11. Well, stamina damage, or all damage? Yeah, all damage. We can't handcuff this. We just have to take 2 stamina damage first, because I don't think there's any other way for me to make this a lot better. That being said, Army Knife is so good. Double attack boost attack, which is more than I can say for some other weapons in World of Horror, but I think you get the point. I think we just do this. We just take 2 all damage in the face. Now, I need to hit this handcuff play, by the way. If we didn't, then I would just defeat the boss there, but anywho. I completely forgot about Azal. That could have been bad for my Doom, but anywho. So, we have 69% Doom. We do still have the pocket knife as well. And we'll take Fear Festival now. Oh, I didn't mean to throw my funds away. Well, that was unfortunate. If we run out of funds, maybe it saves us from an encounter. That would be nice, but we'll see. And yeah, off we go. Yeah, off we go. Not really much to do here. I mean, that's right. We're supposed to click for allies, but no one appeared anyway, so despite everything, it's still me. Survival instinct winging it. You know what? If we're going full RNG anyway, if it doesn't matter to me, I might as well take winging it, because on the times I do pass, that sounds strange to say, but if I'm gonna fail anyway, you should be I mean, usually people think about the opposite, in which, hey, what if I fail? I take more damage, or I fail this event. I mean, that's valid, but hey. Also, note that I've saved my things. Oh, by the way, we don't have the fun rule, did we? No. So, yeah, me just tossing funds there didn't do anything for me. But anywho. I was going to say something else. We're going to take more Doom here, so we'll do that. So yeah, you notice that I saved the pocket knife for my 4th mystery onward. That's because if we run into bad enemies, even including high Doom, yeah, we can use the pocket knife and save more resources. I feel like that makes sense, right? Because if you're taking more damage from an enemy in mysteries 4 and 5, as opposed to mysteries 1 through 3, you get more worth out of using pocket knife in terms of saving HP that you would have lost on just decreasing Doom instead. Although here, you're forced to do one of 2 anyway. The Spiral Hood would have been nice, but that's a lot of Doom to take, and we don't have the Doom to spare. So, also, is that because we had a spell? Why did we get Doom there? It's probably a new, yeah, experience. So, funny enough, We do want to level up at the end of this mystery, but we don't want to level up too fast and start stock holding experience. So I'm going to take experience there, as I just said that, but we'll see. And then curses, so we're definitely taking Doom. Now the question is if I survive the lighthouse. We don't have monument to keep in mind. And now we take 2 Doom? 2 Doom guaranteed because of that, but hey. Well, 3 Doom now. Oh my goodness. If that actually ends up causing me to... Yeah, we're going to actually listen here. Also because we have Masochistic, so we might as well not have our reason at max so that we can heal when we get into the Apartment Stalker fight. That being said, this is not a great fight to fight. So I would have wanted to Pocket Knife, but I didn't know I was going to run into this enemy, so funny enough. Although, yes, fighting this enemy would have allowed me to level up. That is going to be better for me, but... we can just visit another location instead. It's not something I often do because you're trying to save Doom anyway, as we hope for luck. Nope. Okay, so now we just visit something else. I don't know where I want to go. We'll just go into the hospital. Maybe run into Dull Nurse. We could run into Double Nurses. That's just as bad. We could also get lucky here, but the game says no, so our stats really don't matter. Now that being said, I would have to visit quite a bunch of... and we do have to run to an encounter, so you know what? I'd rather... no, I don't know. No, yeah, let's do hospital. So we actually need to defeat an enemy, otherwise we have to... or succeed an event check. Which we do. So, and then that's the side quest as well, but we don't need the tiny key. I was just doing that for more thingamajiggies. Although this reason heal would be nice. We finally get things for Doom, but it's a bit late. So this character had Escape Artist, but we didn't get any Escape Artist because I think the Pocket Knife trigger... does that trigger stealth? Either way, Running Shoes would have been nice because we would have saved a lot more Doom. That's all I need to say. So, do we have the 6th floor? That's going to be a determining factor of us surviving here. Otherwise, Tachi-san immediately needs to get handcuffed. I might as well just do the calculations here. I'm sitting here. So we take 6 stamina damage guaranteed. We don't have the dexterity check. We do have a light check and the charisma check, but that doesn't matter. And the calcium was our second encounter. So for all intents and purposes, we should be able to survive this lighthouse. Tachi-san can cause problems here, but he really shouldn't. Also, we were on Timeline A arms. 1, because we didn't run to the boss, but 2, tiny key. So Calcium Horror, and we need to one-shot Tachi-san. We should be able to do that? Yeah, we should be able to do that. No, we can't do that? Oh, yeah, we can. No, because we have Desperate Prep Strong. So this is the handcuff to save my life. Okay. I thought there were 2 hits. I almost got myself killed there. But hey, by the skin of our teeth, and even though we didn't need to, yeah, we'll complete this run. Although we're doing another run with this character because that's just the rule. But yeah, without further ado, if you have anything to say, you know what to do. And future Jordan will figure out what I want to do with my own channel here as we move on. But yeah, not going to take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching. Bye!